The moment you react, you hand over control, not of the situation, of yourself. It doesn't require force. It doesn't require permission. It happens quietly, in a fraction of a second. Someone says something sharp. You feel heat in your chest. Words form before you even think. You let them out. It feels like strength. It feels like standing up for yourself. It feels right in the moment. It isn't. If a stranger can change your mood in 3 seconds, if a single post online can keep you angry for hours, if a careless comment can ruin your day, then you are not in control. They are. This is the danger the Stoics saw clearly. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." These were not words for quiet afternoons. They were armor, for emperors surrounded by politics, for merchants in crowded markets, for soldiers and servants in unpredictable days. Look at your own life. How many times have you given away control without knowing it? To a driver cutting you off, to a colleague's careless tone, to an argument that never should have happened. Every reaction is a small surrender, a piece of your freedom handed over for free. The cost is more than the moment. It is the hours you spend replaying it in your mind, the energy you waste defending your outburst, the respect you lose from others and from yourself. Not reacting is not weakness. It is restraint. It is clarity. It is the decision to stand still while the world tries to push you. It means choosing your words when others throw theirs away. It means owning the space between what happens and what you do next. Imagine a day where no one decides your mood but you, where no one's chaos becomes your chaos, where provocation hits and falls to the ground. That is the power we will explore, the quiet strength of staying still, the discipline of choosing your response, the freedom of not reacting. Because the moment you stop reacting, you stop letting people control you. Why reacting gives away your power? Reaction feels like control. You speak first. You push back. You set the record straight. But the truth is different. When you react instantly, you are no longer choosing. You are being pulled into their frame, pulled into their timing, pulled into the emotion they chose for you. Think about it. The person who triggers you is already ahead. They decided the starting point. They set the pace. You are playing a game they designed. This is not control. It is surrender disguised as strength. The Stoics understood that whoever controls your emotions controls your actions, and whoever controls your actions controls the outcome. In war, this is called bait. In business, it's called negotiation pressure. In personal life, it's called manipulation. The method is the same. Push you off balance. Make you move before you're ready. Win by making you react. Reaction costs you clarity. It clouds judgment. It narrows your vision to the immediate moment. You stop thinking long-term. You stop asking the bigger question, is this even worth my energy? Marcus Aurelius warned, you always own the option of having no opinion. There is never any need to get worked up or to trouble your soul about things you can't control. When you react, you give them the keys. You let them decide what matters to you. You let them steer the conversation, the tone, the outcome. This is why some people seem to always win arguments. They don't need to be right. They just need to get you emotional. Once they have that, they have you. Look at modern life. Social media runs on reaction. Every headline is crafted to provoke. Every algorithm rewards outrage. You click, you comment, you share. Not because you planned to, but because they pulled you. It's the same in person. A co-worker throws a passive remark. A family member digs up old mistakes. Someone cuts in line. They are fishing for a reaction. If you give it, they win. You lose not just the moment, but the energy and focus that could have gone elsewhere. Every reaction is a transfer of power. Your attention moves to what they chose. Your emotions bend to their will. Your mind works inside their frame. This is why restraint is not weakness. It's strategy. It's staying out of traps. It's keeping the high ground. A calm mind can choose the time and place to act. A reactive mind acts when others tell it to. When you learn not to react instantly, you take back the hidden power people have over you. You keep the conversation on your terms. You protect your energy for battles you choose. The world will keep trying to make you react. It's how control is taken without force. The question is, will you keep handing over the keys, or will you learn to hold them? No matter what's said, no matter what's done, no matter who's watching, because the moment you stop reacting, the game changes. They no longer control you. They can only watch as you stay still and choose your own next move. Emotional self-governance. To the Stoics, self-governance is the highest form of freedom. It is the recognition that while you cannot control the world, you can control yourself within it. This is not passive. It is not withdrawal. It is command. Command over your thoughts. Command over your emotions. Command over your actions. In the modern world, many confuse self-control with suppression. They think it means swallowing anger, forcing a smile, pretending something doesn't bother you. That is not Stoic self-governance. The Stoic is not pretending to be calm. The Stoic is calm. There is a difference. Suppression pushes the feeling down. Self-governance transforms it. When something provokes you, the first question is not, how do I hide this? The first question is, how do I see this clearly? Clarity is the foundation. Without it, emotion becomes the driver. With it, reason takes the wheel. The Stoics trained for this clarity every day. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journal each morning, reminding himself that the day ahead would be full of interruptions, rudeness, and selfish acts. By expecting them, he was ready for them. Epictetus told his students to rehearse misfortunes in their minds, not to invite misery, but to prepare their response. If you've already decided how to meet an insult, the insult loses its power. Self-governance begins before the moment of provocation. It is built in quiet hours, in the way you start your morning, in the way you decide what matters to you. When the moment comes, the work has already been done. You don't need to react. You already know your ground. This is why the Stoic is slow to anger, not because they are numb, but because they have chosen their priorities ahead of time. Ask yourself, what deserves my attention? What is beneath it? What is worth the cost of my energy? Most of what provokes us is noise. It has no lasting impact. It will not matter a month from now, let alone a year. The Stoic mind measures worth before spending energy. That is emotional self-governance. It is also knowing the difference between reaction and response. A reaction is instant, driven by impulse. A response is chosen, shaped by principle. Reaction is a spark in dry grass. Response is fire in a hearth contained, deliberate, useful. In practicing self-governance, you are not avoiding conflict. You are shaping it. You are deciding the terms on which you will meet it. Sometimes the response will be silence. Sometimes it will be a single sentence. Sometimes it will be decisive action, but only when it serves your values, not your ego. This discipline is rare. That is why it is respected. People feel the difference between someone who explodes and someone who chooses their moment. The first burns out quickly. The second stays in command. To govern yourself is to live on your own terms. to choose your emotional state rather than inherit it from others, to move when you decide, and to stay still when others demand motion. This is the Stoic core. Without it, the world will pull you from one reaction to the next, until you are exhausted, scattered, and unsure of who is steering your life. With it, you are steady, you are clear, you are free. Practical ways to hold your ground without reacting. There is power in restraint, not the kind that comes from holding back out of fear, but the kind born from choice, from discipline, from knowing you could speak, strike, or lash out, and yet you decide not to. Today, we turn that power into practice. 5 simple, tangible methods you can use daily to keep your ground and not hand your control to anyone. 1. Own the first 3 seconds. The moment something provokes you, you have a window. It's small, 3 seconds at most. That is the battleground where you either act or react. Most people fire back instantly. Words spill, voices rise. And with every unguarded word, they hand over their peace. The Stoic way is to own those 3 seconds. Pause. Let silence be your shield. Draw one slow breath in. Feel your chest rise. Release it, slow and steady. That single breath changes your chemistry. It slows the rush of adrenaline. It gives your mind time to see, not just feel. In those 3 seconds, you remind yourself, I control what I do next. And often, that alone is enough to prevent you from doing something you'll regret. 2. Anchor your body. Your mind follows your body more than you realize. When your posture collapses, when your muscles tighten, your thoughts follow the same pattern. You shrink. You tense. You prepare for conflict. Instead, anchor yourself. Plant your feet firmly on the ground. Unclench your jaw. Let your shoulders drop. Breathe from your diaphragm. This is not just posture, it's a message to your nervous system. We are steady. We are not in danger. When the body is calm, the mind finds it easier to stay calm. And when you look composed, others sense they can't rattle you. 3. Choose silence over the last word. The need to have the last word is a trap. It's not about truth. It's about ego. It's about proving you are right, even when the cost is peace. The Stoics knew a battle of words rarely has a winner. Silence, however, is undefeated. Choosing not to respond is not weakness. It's refusal. Refusal to feed a fire that doesn't deserve your energy. When you let the last word go, you signal that your self-worth is not tied to winning in someone else's eyes. You win by walking away intact. 4. Shift to observation mode. When you're in the middle of a heated exchange, it's easy to get pulled under by emotion. But the Stoic mindset says, step out of the river, stand on the bank. Become the observer. Notice tone, words, body language. Notice your own heartbeat, your breathing. Ask yourself, if I was watching this like a film, how would I see it? That mental step back creates space between you and the heat of the moment. Observation makes you a strategist, not a pawn. And the person who observes more controls more. 5. Let others spend their energy. Some people enter a room ready for a fight. They throw sharp words like stones. They want you to catch them, throw them back, and keep the game going. You don't have to play. Let them throw, let them run, let them burn their own fuel. The more they push and you stay steady, the more they exhaust themselves. Eventually, the storm passes not because you fought it, but because you refuse to feed it. When you let others spend their energy, you keep yours. And that's the difference between someone who gets drained by every encounter and someone who walks away stronger than they arrived. Mastering these 5 practices doesn't make you cold. It makes you clear. You still feel. You still care. You simply refuse to be controlled. Restraint is not suppression. It is strength under command. And in a world where everyone is quick to react, the one who holds their ground is the one who truly leads. The quiet benefits of not reacting. When you stop reacting, something shifts. It is not loud. It is not obvious at first. But people feel it. Your silence becomes presence. You walk into a room, and you don't compete for space. You don't rush to fill the air. Yet people notice you. They notice the calm, the steadiness, the way you seem untouched by the small storms around you. This is the first benefit. Silence becomes magnetic. It draws attention without asking for it. It makes people lean in. They sense they cannot easily pull you into their chaos. The second benefit is energy. Every reaction costs something. Every argument burns fuel. When you choose not to react, you save that fuel. You keep it for what matters. For building, for thinking, for the quiet work that changes your life. Most people spend their energy proving themselves to others. You spend yours creating something worth proving. The third benefit lives in your relationships. When you do not react, you give space for truth to surface. You respond from reason, not from a spike of emotion. This changes conversations. It changes trust. People stop feeling like they must defend themselves against you. They start to see you as safe, steady, someone they can speak to without fear of being judged in the heat of the moment. Over time, this changes the nature of every connection. Arguments shorten. Understanding grows. The air between you and others becomes lighter. Not reacting is not about being passive. It is about being deliberate. You choose when to speak, how to speak, and when not to. The benefits are not instant. They grow quietly with every moment you hold your ground. And one day you realize you are no longer living at the mercy of other people's emotions. You are living from your own center, the unmovable mind. Every time you don't react, you take back a piece of your freedom. Freedom is not a grand victory parade. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It happens quietly inside your mind when you refuse to be moved by what doesn't deserve your energy. Think about it. Every reaction you've ever given in anger, every time you snapped back, every time you let your mood change because of someone else, you handed them a little bit of control over you. It may have felt justified in the moment. It may have felt like you were standing up for yourself. But in truth, you were standing exactly where they wanted you to be, inside the game they set, playing by their rules. The unmovable mind doesn't play that game. It doesn't need to, because it understands this. Silence can be louder than shouting. Calm can be stronger than force. Restraint can be more powerful than retaliation. Today, you will have a chance to practice this. Someone will push your buttons. It might be your boss questioning your work. It might be a driver cutting you off. It might be a friend saying something careless. Your old self will feel the spark, the urge to strike back, to defend, to prove. But this time, pause. Own the first 3 seconds. Breathe. Let the emotion rise and pass. Don't give them the reaction they're fishing for. Let them spend their energy while you conserve yours. You don't have to agree with them. You don't even have to like them. But you can choose to remain untouched by them. Notice how that feels. Notice how your body stays light. Notice how your thoughts remain clear. This is the taste of real power, the kind that can't be taken away because it lives entirely within you. Understand this. True power is not about controlling other people. It is about controlling yourself. It's the quiet confidence of knowing that your peace cannot be stolen unless you hand it over. So, starting today, hold your ground without anger. Respond without haste. Walk away without resentment. Every time you don't react, you reclaim your mind. You reclaim your energy. You reclaim yourself. And over time, you will become that person. The one who cannot be shaken, the one who moves through storms without bending, the one whose stillness commands more respect than any outburst ever could. That is the unmovable mind. And once you build it, no one will ever control you again.